What is a game that when you die from just one single hit, you lose all your prisoners for bonus points? This is the Neo Geo title, Metal Slug. On April 16th, 1990, SNK releases the Neo Geo MVS, or Multi-Video System, as well as later on the Neo Geo AES, or Advanced Entertainment System. The console was a very luxury console back in the day, costing more than $700 back in $1990, which was by far the most expensive video game console that ever be released at retail price. SNK wanted to sell the Neo Geo only to bars and restaurants. But however, due to high demand and high popularity, they decided to sell it, but for a maximum premium. But in 1996, Nazca Corporation approached SNK shortly prior to being merged with SNK to make a fun shoot-'em-up run-and-gun, kind of similar to Konami's Contra series. And that game would be Metal Slug, released in April of 1996. Metal Slug is really different compared to other run-and-gun games, even though it's pretty simple. It's unlike other Neo Geo games that are mostly fighting games. Metal Slug is a full-on shoot-'em-up. In this video, we're going to be looking through Metal Slug's best things about it, from its bosses, to its gameplay, to its guns, and even its brutal difficulty. So strap in for yourselves for a really good heck of a time. That intro was awesome, especially for a Neo Geo title. Okay, I'm actually not surprised it looks good, because not even the Super Nintendo can even replicate that at all. I already know the controls of Metal Slug, so it's nice that they also have a how to play screen, just for those who are new to the game. For me, Mission 1 of Metal Slug is a good way to introduce the players to the game. We even get our hands on the very first ever weapon in the game. That's right, our first weapon is the machine gun, and as you can see, in order to want to earn bonus points, you have to recapture prisoners that have been captured by the rebel army. This is a good way to increase replay value, because it can make sure to go find other secret prisoners that may be stuck in really tight corners, or even up in out-of-place areas. We now enter into somewhat what is considered an abandoned village. And make sure to pick up those bomb packages along the way, and make sure to get more of those hefty machine guns also too. You also build up your ammo. Once you do that, you also have to destroy this massive straw house, and then another helicopter will nuke the bombs at you right from the air. But that's okay. What we're about to board first is going to be the famous Super Vehicle 001, the Metal Slug tank, and even has cannons. Seriously, the humor in Metal Slug is pure gold. I wish games like this nowadays would have this type of humor. But anyway, we would see other tanks from the rebel army appear as they're trying to stop our way. But thanks to the bombs, as we crouch down, we can defeat them. And of course, there are secrets like I just mentioned. There are many prisoners up in there, and you have to shoot them in the exact location in order to drop down. They will give you a small score reward, but at least it's worth it in order you want to get high scores at the end of each level. The first boss in Metal Slug in the first stage is surprisingly a broken down airplane, but that's okay. Usually it takes me a long time in order to kill it just using the normal turret gun. But what I like to do is just quickly crouch down and just spam the bombs over and over and over again with the grenades, and so I can finally win. It's honestly a cheap way, but at least it's really quick if I want to speedrun just to get footage for this video. It's pretty unique, and I highly recommend you do this if you don't want to use up all your guns and risk getting killed.
Mission complete.
Mission 2 begins in an abandoned train station. It looks really cool visually. It kind of reminds me of something that I wish I can kind of remember what it is. Oh yeah! Okay, I had to put that joke in. I think that was so funny and perfect timing. We eventually get our next weapon, being the flame shot. And honestly, I think this is probably my least favorite weapon in the whole game. I just think it does nothing more. It takes damage very slowly. While at least the heavy machine gun is fun to use because of how exotic it is, I think the flame shot's a little lame in my opinion. But that's okay. We are about to enter an area where there's bridges, and once we get through there, we're about to get our third next weapon. Wow, 2 weapons in one, and it's known as the rocket launcher, or as I like to call it, the
Enemy chaser!
The reason for this is because, think about it, the rockets go after the enemy that is closest. That's why. So anyway, after defeating some incredibly mindless easy boats, we eventually make it to a place where we get, yet again, our third and final new weapon this time, and this time is known as the shotgun. This weapon has the shortest range, but it has the most epic power in the gun. In my opinion, I always think the heavy machine gun will always be my favorite weapon in Metal Slug. It just has so much good range that you can spray everywhere in 360 degrees. But anyway, once we destroy this house and destroy these tanks, we eventually see another prisoner trapped, but this time, it's a giant Metal Slug. It looks like a Metal Slug, but on steroids. I don't know why it's so big, but hey, it kind of looks creepy. In my opinion, this is, the worst Metal Slug boss, in my opinion. And this is even a main boss. This is just a mini boss that you ended up before you battle against the real enemy.
Heavy machine gun.
The boss of Mission 2 is this massive plane. Like again, make sure to just spam your bombs in so we can chip damage. But once that's done, we actually see the actual enemy, Captain Morgan, and he's not doing so good, and once we defeat the plane, we thought he's dead, but no, a plane rescues him just in the nick of time. Well, that kind of stupid, but that's okay. At least gives us a chance to have us more levels yet to come.
Mission complete. Mission 3.
The beginning of Mission 3 is kind of boring. It's pretty much you climbing up a mountain. But while that's going on, I'm going to talk about my personal story, how I first discovered Metal Slug for the first time. You see, I first discovered Metal Slug through the GBA catalog, and that's when I discovered there was a game uniquely compared to the other shooters I've played, known as Metal Slug Advance. I quickly played Metal Slug Advance, and oh my goodness, I love that game so much. And that's when I learned that there are more Metal Slug games out there. And then, doing research for this video, I realized that Metal Slug originated in 1996 on the Neo Geo. And for the longest time, I never really know why people like the Neo Geo outside of, I guess the fighting games on there, like King of Fighters or Fatal Fury. But now I finally understand why people love the Neo Geo. It's mostly for Metal Slug, and of course, the King of the Fighters 2, which I'm forgetting about too. One day I will play that game one day. But anyway, I quickly booted up Metal Slug, and the gameplay I'm recording off here is playing off via the RetroArch emulator, and I quickly love this game to death. I play this game all the time, even though my dad always says to me he doesn't like this game because of how violent it is. But hey, at least it's better than the Japanese version, which had blood in it. Now this is my favorite mid-boss in all of Metal Slug. This really incredibly muscular dude with a massive machine gun and bombs. He's probably my favorite, probably most likely because of his booming voice actor, as well of his excellent personality and part of Metal Slug's goofy humor. But once we kill him, we now eventually make it into the official, base of the Rebel Army, like the old snow base. We eventually destroy a ton of soldiers and a bunch of explosions appear on screen, and then we finally battle against a ton of tanks and other soldiers as we make it through to the final area of the level. But honestly, this is where we finally see where Metal Slug's difficulty is about to heavily go high. Once you lose all your 2 lives, of course you will lose all your prisoners, as another reason why the game is difficult, but also you have a chance to continue. And when you continue, you also get a heavy machine gun along with it. But honestly, if you were a kid back in 1996 and wanted to beat the game on one sitting, you need to have like tons and tons of quarters if you ever wanted to beat this game by yourself. And honestly, I'm glad I wasn't playing this off a real arcade cabinet, so I'm lucky I just had to press the shift button over and over again, just so I can insert more coins in.
Mission complete.
At the beginning, at Mission 4, there's a special secret that is very tedious and very tiresome. Is that you have to move only in nowhere, and you have to shoot at one specific location, just shoot at the right. If you keep repeatedly doing this, you will see a plane that will drop prisoners. While shooting the gun repeatedly on the right over and over again while always standing still is kind of cumbersome, at least it's worth it getting at least 3 more prisoners added to your count. And also, in my opinion, I think Mission 4 is kind of probably the most easiest level in the whole game, even though we're pretty late into the game. This level is pretty easy. You pretty much hop into the Metal Slug tank, you just shoot everywhere, like shooting tanks and shooting other like turret guns and everything like that, hoping to get to the end. And also, during this run, I managed to get all my prisoners without being killed, and I managed to get a big bonus too, which is great. Well, don't worry guys. After Mission 4, Metal Slug is gonna jump into a huge leap in difficulty by the time we get to Mission 5. Trust me.
Mission complete. Mission 5.
Metal Slug takes a massive leap in difficulty by the time we hit Mission 5. This level is filled with brutal soldiers all waiting to attack and chase you with some brutal heavy attacks, such as cannons and even knives and guns too. This is just way too much. Even though I know games are supposed to be difficult, I think that's gonna cause tons of slowdown and a very low frame rate. Well, I hope you enjoyed this time lapse of me struggling through this level. Here, let me put on some nice music that perfectly matches the opposite feeling of what it's like in this level on Metal Slug. There we go, the enemy tank is down, now time for the 6th and final level.
Mission complete.
Here we go guys, Mission 6. This level, when I tried to beat this for the video, I was killed so many times. I had to use multiple continues, and even then, it didn't really help. Honestly, I think Metal Slug is good. Like, don't worry, it's a really fantastic, great game. But it's been super hard for all these years. And I kind of forgive why I kind of love arcade games. You kind of play them for the challenge. And that's what Metal Slug and as well as Mr. Goemon work so well. They are built for you to swallow up your quarters constantly. We saw that this was the end of the level until we see a bunch of prisoners being captured. And then we see, look who it is. It's General Morden, again! And this time he destroys the bridge using one giant missile. Okay, we're now on a boat that's about to rise, and there's even one heavy machine gun even on there. So after a very long and extremely long, very tedious boat ride to the other side of the level, we are about to face General Morden for one more time. Let's do it. Morden's phases as the final boss are very difficult. The battles are so intense. You have multiple missiles shooting at you, you have a massive machine gun ready to destroy your Metal Slug tank after one gunshot, which is crazy, and many other attacks that will kill you instantly. Honestly, this is the final attack. And honestly, once we defeated Morden, that's it. We have defeated him, and the game of Metal Slug is done. And after a very brutal and excellent fun gameplay adventure, I say we should finally wrap up this review / retrospective of this game.
Mission complete.
In the end, I managed to get 4 continues in Metal Slug, and I got a score of at least less than 1 million points, which I'm actually pretty proud of, because I think it's not even possible, or if it is possible to get 1 million points in Metal Slug, you have to be extremely perfect and really good at dodging combat. But anyway, in my opinion, Metal Slug is a fantastic shoot-'em-up game. It's always been one of my favorites since recently. Even though I've never been a fan of arcade games for so long, or I guess since 1981's Donkey Kong, I finally managed why a lot of people love the Neo Geo so much. And honestly, it's totally deserved, because now with the new Neo Geo AES Plus coming out soon, I I think a lot of new generation of kids will finally explore Metal Slug and all of its Neo Geo classics for the first time. Thank you so much for watching this video. This was a lot of fun to making this video on Metal Slug. If you liked this video, make sure to give this video a like, comment what you thought about it, or about your nostalgic feelings for Metal Slug, and of course, subscribe to the channel. My name is Lucas Dahl, and thank you so much for watching this video. That's all for me, from Luke Attack. Thank you so much. Goodbye.